All right, really face the facts. Or maybe it's looking in the mirror in your own eyes and accepting who you are and what you are. Whatever that is for you, it's painful to rip off the layers of the jawbreaker and disassemble the ego, right? I talk about Coach Rob, and he's in the bonus interview series. Dude, middle of the night, I first started working with Rob. People say, oh, he's your therapist. Okay, well, he's not a therapist. He's a personal self-mastery coach. But you could say therapist. That's cool. I've called him when I was going through shit before. And just the way he speaks is like Mr. Miyagi, like a tuning fork. It calms you right down. You take a breath. And then you are in present moment awareness. And nothing is wrong at this moment. Right now, not being trapped in all the prison of the mind is pure evil. There's a saying in the Bible, the flesh is the enmity of God. Like your body, your mind, your flesh is straight up negative. It can really suck you into a downward spiral of just building upon building an entire skyscraper that's so deeply rooted in the ground, an edifice of stories that you've told yourself of why your life is this way. You become addicted to your struggle, an addiction that is you being addicted to your own struggle. Could you imagine being addicted to your struggle, your story of why it's so hard? But if imagine Anthony Robbins says people feel like I'm hanging by a shoestring. He says, well, why don't you just put that thing down and go over here? But it's not that easy, right? Because as soon as you change, as soon as you grow and say, you know what, I'm doing something with my life. It's time to shine and live my dreams. That's when everybody around you starts attacking you. As soon as you decide to live your dreams, that's when the foundation of the lies starts shaking and the jawbreaker starts peeling away and the snakeskin you have to shed away, and it's painful when you start to wake up and become and renew or become enlightened or become empowered or become self-actualized, whatever they want to call it. It's just, you know, getting real with yourself, but it's extremely painful, and there's a lot of suffering and anxiety and stuff, and especially around with other people, that comes when you start to change and grow. And it's really, really not easy. And do it anyways. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. And do it anyhow that you can. And I mean, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you'll wake up one day and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I came out of that hellhole. I can't believe I was actually in that hellhole. And you won't believe how much your life can change in such a short period of time, man. Oh, I have friends that were trapped in just dead-end jobs, and they're entrepreneurs today, making, like, it doesn't matter what they're making, it's just I see them, they're free, financially free. And they're like, dude, 2.5 years ago I was broke and miserable. How did this happen? Because like when God, well, let's not talk about God, because I don't want to talk about that in you know, on my channel. And I'm not saying I personally believe in God. I do. I talked about Jesus once on my channel, and I'm not getting too deep into this. I personally, let's just say, I'm just gonna say, anybody who was crucified in front of like thousands of people and spit on and mocked and still loved, unconditionally loved those people who were spitting on him until, you know, that's amazing to me, right? I'm not saying anything else, but basically everything can be turned around, man, at the snap of a finger. And it really takes a decision. Just a decision. Decide means to cut, right? The Latin word decide means to cut away and choose one thing and cut away all other options. That's scary. That's scary, because a man's deepest fear is to be trapped. If he decides one thing, see, a man that wants to keep his options open and everything and doesn't want to commit to one thing because he feels like the one thing will take away his freedom and put him into slavery and bondage, but the only freedom is through decision. The only freedom is through cutting like a knife. Truth cuts like a knife and it hurts, but it cuts directly down to the truth. It's the only way, is to decide and go with it, man. Go with whatever your heart is calling you to do, because if you keep your options open, especially like in relationships and with women and stuff, that's a horrible life of absolute hell. You look at these guys who are too old to be going to the bars and they're trying to date all these different women and stuff like that. Those guys are probably miserable inside and they're like, oh yeah man, I got all these girlfriends and all this. Dude, like to me, nothing is better than finding one woman, right, and being in love with one woman for the rest of your life. Now when I was a young guy, I'd be like, oh my god, that's a trap. Marriage is a trap. And you hear all this shit from people, these guys who've been divorced, saying, oh man. And I was afraid too, right? And then when I got married, man, there's no greater freedom, because it's like you're squeezing yourself through and you have to peel off all the bullshit and all the stuff of yourself that you don't like, so the little bit of truth so you can get through to the other side and then experience real freedom. There's a lot of dichotomy in life and in this world, but I know what it feels like to be trapped. I know what it feels like to have absolute jack shit nothing. And I'm going in the house, man. I gotta get back to my shit. But, all right, later.